Hello everyone, and today we're going to be talking about the mechanics of the new Heroes Realm, which is going to be the Sorrow of Mortalbound. But we're just going to be focusing on how to do Ghost Master, because Twin Lions has already been out for a while. Maybe that was like last breakthrough, so I'm pretty sure a lot of you already know how to do the mechanics of it. And if not, there's a lot of guides out for it. And yeah, so let's get right to it. Okay, but before we start, I would like to note that if you're going to be doing this encounter, you're gonna have to want a healthy team comp because just having like one healer, it's gonna be especially healers. Because if you're gonna have like just one healer, it's doable, but it's going to be a lot harder because of how the mechanics work, which I will be explaining in a bit. So it would be nicer to have at least one tank who knows what he's doing, and just a couple of healers to keep everyone alive. And here we go. Encounter starts off the rip. What you're going to be keeping track of is these sedans, which I was today years old to find out that these are actually called sedans because I thought it was like a car thing. But I guess that's where they took it. Anyways, sorry, sidetrack. So these sedans are going to be a key component in this encounter. You're gonna want to keep track of this. Off the rip, you're gonna want to damage this. There's gonna be a health bar on top of the screen here. If you can see this little bar thingy, that's this advanced health. You are going to damage that until the lock icon shows up. When it's locked, you go and transfer to the boss. You do damage to the boss. Encounter goes on as usual. After a bit of damaging, you can see this blossom thing on close to the boss's health. This is going to glow red. Once it glows red, the boss is going to go to the sedan. He's going to go in. Once the boss is inside, it's going to do a pulsating damage thing where it's going to deal a lot of damage to your team. It's not enough to wipe your party, but it does deal a lot of damage if left alone. So you are going to have to damage the sedan to flush out the boss to continue the encounter. So those are the first few mechanics. Now the encounter is going to continue, and the boss is going to have few notable attacks here. We've got the big umbrella drops. They deal a lot of AoE damage, but it is parryable. You could parry this, but if you are uncomfortable, you can just spread out and just to be safe. And he also does big AoE damage. In this case, the boss targets one guy or one player. It's a big damage, still parryable, mind you. But if you are uncomfortable or not confident with your parries, you can just spread out to be safe and just, after that you can continue damaging the boss. Now, one of the boss's attack patterns is that he's going to attempt to go into the sedan. At this point, you're going to be seeing a red pathway. You're going to have to parry this to stop the boss from going to the sedan. It's similar to the Lucky 17 boss if you have played that one before. When he tries to throw your teammate where you can parry it. So you're going to have to stop the boss from going in here. Now, on the off chance that you're going to fail this, it's not a big deal. The sedan is just going to be jumping around, dealing some damage. It's not enough to wipe your party, but it does increase your clear time, which is a tiny inconvenience. At this point, just destroy the shackle and chains at the same time. Once you destroy this, the sedan is going to stay still. Again, you're going to be doing the normal sedan mechanic where you deal enough damage until the lock comes out, and then again deal damage to the boss, and the encounter continues as usual. Now here comes the fun part, into the sedan mechanic. This is like my favorite part of the encounter. Now, a prompt comes out. It's going to show you into the sedan. The boss is going to choose players to be sucked into the sedan. Now, these players aren't going to be able to do anything. They're just sitting ducks in there. And by that point, falling lilies are going to be doing a lot of area of effect damage. So, what can you do? You are going to choose players who's going to carry the sedan. It has to be 2 players for each sedan, because if it's only 1 player, it's way too slow that you can't avoid the AoE damage. So, two players, they have to be coordinated in moving the sedan, because if one player goes left and one player is going right, it's not gonna move, and you're just gonna end up killing your teammate and possibly yourselves in the process. So a little bit of coordination, not really that hard, because the game actually shows you where your teammate is going. So you can just have like a rule of thumb, or let's just follow the guy in the back or in the front or whatever. So yeah, just keep track of this encounter. Make sure to save your teammates, because especially if the boss accidentally, well, I say accidentally, if the boss chooses healers, which are very important to the encounter, uh, you are going to be short of healers in this mechanic. So just make sure to do the mechanic, and yeah, that's it. Now, after you've done all these mechanics, the boss is going to have a last big mechanic where he spawns 3 sedans. So you're going to have to do the same thing again. Deal enough damage to these 3 sedans until the lock icon comes out. Then again, he's gonna be sucked into the sedan, deals a lot of damage. If you do fail to deal enough damage to these 3 sedans, the boss is going to deal a lot of damage. You're just gonna wipe the encounter. So it's just this thing you have to keep track of. If the 3 sedans spawn, go and deal enough damage to one of them, go to the next, or you can just split up and deal enough damage to the 3 of them at the same time. It's your call, as long as it gets done. And that's it. Now you know how to do Ghostmaster. I really wish that more people would find out how to do this mechanic, because matchmaking is kind of it's kind of risky sometimes. Sometimes you are paired with people who just don't want to think, and it's kind of annoying. I know, I've been there, and I was just lucky enough that my first clear was it my first? Yeah, it was my first clear earlier that I had people who were actually willing to learn the mechanics with me. It was a matchmaking, but those are dime a dozen. So anyways, now I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, don't please, a like and subscribe would be very helpful. I plan to continue on making more Werewolves Meet content along the way, and I hope I could be a part of I could be part of your journey as well, if you are on the grind. And that's it. Have fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.